super over. Yes, sir! You bet your roll, you Anya!
From Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
As a captain and as a player, I wouldn't want to keep being part of such games, but Punjab Kings is not for the light-hearted.
If you could create a career that doesn't currently exist, what would it be?
Singer.
That exists, brother.
Gets it back with a point. It's going to run away for 4 and it'll be it. Kolkata Knight Riders are the champions.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Bolts Cricket Podcast. And this week, in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we have nothing less than the most consequential gathering of Americans since the 1787 Constitutional Convention. My name is Nick Cates. I am, of course, your regular host here on the Bolts Cricket Podcast, and I have almost half an 11 worth of excellent American cricket guests here.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I open up TikTok, I see one of everyone's videos, just like right when I scroll.
I am not a TikToker, so I refuse to get TikTok.
I know, that's where everyone is.
Yeah. My name's Arjun. I'm host of the American Cricket Show, just trying to teach cricket to Americans.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ananya. I run a cricket interview platform where I just bring on American cricketers and cricket content creators to just kind of talk a lot about cricket.
What's up, y'all? I'm Amal from Sixes and States, where I showcase cricket across America, and super honored to be in front of like 4 cricket legends here.
Cricket legends, that's right. Real legends. Real legends here.
There we go.
And I said, I'm Adam Madden. That's cricket. Cover all the cricket. Love my cricket. We're here.
Oh, I love your stuff, Adam. I watch it all.
Thanks.
Dude, it is the American All-Star almost half an 11 here, okay? We pull out no stops here, okay? We're only bringing the heavy hitters.
Love it.
But let's get started in this American vein. Why don't we start here in America with Major League Cricket? And I feel like, having watched this tournament for 4 years, this is the best season so far. It's super competitive. We have 4 points between all the top teams, and that's only because somebody had to win last night and both teams were on 8 points. I mean, what a season it's been so far.
Yeah, it's been a crazy season. I mean, the first 2 seasons had restricted matches. There weren't that many matches that were played in the first 2 seasons. Last season, we got a full, everyone played their 10 games, and it was back that season. But it was also huge gap between the bottom 3 teams, and the top 3 teams. And MI snuck into the finals on just 3 wins and then won the whole thing. And it didn't really matter that they had that terrible record because they made the finals and they just got a good rub of the green. There was that washout game that kind of threw things in a bit of a different way. And it's just like 1, 2, 3, and it was over. So this year it's going to come right down to the wire. Anyone can win. No one's safe right now. Every win is a not even a safety net. You could still go on and lose the next 2 games and be knocked out. So excited to see what happens. And we're definitely getting some good cricket. That's for sure. We're getting some good cricket.
I feel like that's what makes sports just so unpredictable. Like, going into the season, I think everyone kind of had their own bracket and everyone felt super confident about who they thought was going to win. And now it's, to your point, it's literally anyone's game. And it's not even about like each team is like, every team is super stacked, right? It's not like one is like way stronger than the others. And even if you think that one's stronger than the others, then you're just like wrong. I'm like too scared to bet on like money line because like it's kind of like March Madness where you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, I think I saw this stat on Crick Info. It was like this MLC season was like the 3rd or 4th ever in all of franchise crickets where after half the games were played, all the teams were on the same amount of points. Just shows how competitive it's been. My favorite part has been that we haven't gotten our first hat trick in the MLC. We also got our first double hat trick in the MLC, which I thought was super cool.
I really liked that first. I think it was the first game. Like both teams had one person scoring a century in each, so I think that was really interesting. Really nice to see like how many records were being broken. And I think this MLC season, so many records are being broken, which kind of shows like how how big it'll get and everything with that. And it's definitely going to come down to net run rate with the 4 teams that are going to going to go to the semifinals.
Yeah, the record breaking is kind of nuts. We had, even just from the first game, we had the highest partnership ever. Shine Jahangir and Tim Seifert put on 191. We had the oldest person to score a century in T20 cricket. We had the oldest, that was Faf du Plessis. Then we had the oldest person to take a wicket, which was Peter Siddle in T20 cricket. Karen Pollard broke the all-time batting record for most runs scored. He scores his second ever century. What else? Anyone else? And then we had the double, the hat trick. We had the double hat trick. Yeah, it's kind of nuts, to be fair.
Yeah, I feel like every type of record has been broken, and I just hope this is all comparable to like other leagues. You know, like I'm sure in CPL and like SA20, there are other kind of like records also being broken, but I feel like just MLC is different.
I don't think we can really compare the MLC to any of the other leagues since it's so new. Every single other league has been there for so much longer, and you're kind of bringing in obviously like a lot of the international players, but the American players are also kind of just breaking in now. So just comparing it to other leagues is just like saying, "Oh, it's going to be the next IPL." Is saying that it's like IPL was also new at some point, but you have to keep in mind cricket in India is just it's another religion. So I don't think you can compare MLC to any other league, like the 100 or anything like that.
Well, and I also think considering the, as long as the BCCI gives the monopoly or the IPL a monopoly on Indian players, it's probably going to be half a step above most other leagues. It was great to get Ashwin in this year. And I do think that, trying to continue getting in, there's been a lot of really good young Australian players, for example, who've come through in MLC in recent years. Luandre Pretorius as well this year has been lighting the league on fire as a South African young talent. I think that, just continuing to bring in younger talent from around the world is going to be really helpful.
I would like to see a lot more Indian players in the MLC for sure. I think it would definitely help the MLC viewership. With Ravichandra Ashwin coming in, it helped a lot.
The bummer he got
so
ruled
he's
out.
out. I don't know if you guys heard the news today, but he's out.
Heard. He's out.
He played one game and he's out. And from a just a logical standpoint, like the pull that it's had, I don't know on the TV viewership because we don't have those numbers. As for a crowd pull, like it's like a quarter of the fans that are here this year than from last year. Like last year there was like double the like 4x the people at the stadiums. So I'm not sure like even in the game that he was playing, the first game, like it's not like everyone stormed Texas to make it there for him. That was played also on the same day as the World Cup game, which probably also affected it. But in that, with the wave of tourism we have here in the country through the World Cup, there really should have been a great effort to steal the fans that were on off days from World Cup games to come to cricket games, because that would have been epic for people coming here to watch World Cup. They could have also come, especially in Texas, and actually Texas and California. They would have been able to see like two world-class sport events like simultaneously, like obviously on off days. I don't know where they were. I'm just going to say they were at the World Cup. They were watching the soccer, I guess, because they weren't there.
I don't think India will ever do this, but if they allowed like the current Indian players to play in the MLC, that'll definitely help. I'll guarantee you if they bring like Shubman Gill and Abhishek Sharma to play in the MLC, the viewership will go up like 10 times. The amount of people that want to see both of them play always is really high. Maybe I'm biased.
Yeah. Any of the current players they bring over is going to bring some eyeballs for sure.
I was just going to say the eyeballs issue in general is that I think the MLC really needs to capitalize on like advertising that there is cricket in America, just because like last year I went to the Oakland games and the only billboard I saw was like about a mile from the stadium that said, "Oh, there's cricket about a mile away." How are people going to hear about it? How are people going to go if the only thing you can hear about it is from word of mouth? You got to be seeing it everywhere. Sort of see, they got to have like signs in the BART that are like, "Oh, like we got cricket going on." Just try to get as many eyeballs as possible. And I think that's the only way to really increase the viewership as it's currently going.
Yeah, I think something that we've undervalued is the push that we had from the 2024 World Cup, because that season directly went straight from the World Cup win against Pakistan into the final series, and then it was like only a few weeks later we were now into MLC 2. I guess that was MLC 2, right? And then that had a big push, and then last year we opened up at the Coliseum, which was a new thing. And a lot of the money ball and a lot of the production and a lot of the advertising was around, hey, we're at the Coliseum. It's like Moneyball, cricket's in America. And there was a big turnout at opening week. Opening week was at Oakland last week. Oh, sorry, at last year. I was there. It was a pretty big turnout, to be fair. Even for the double headers, we had a lot of people there in the stadium early in the day, and they carried on in through the night. I think 9,000 was probably the peak game that we had. I think it was the opening game. But yeah, they've changed it a couple things this year. They got the new stadium. I think was any of you at the new stadium?
I think Nick was.
Nick
Yeah.
might have been at the new stadium. I'm pleasantly surprised I got it all together so quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would come together so quick. And then in the promos had no stands. The stands hadn't been put in yet for the promo videos, and I'm like, oh my god, they're going to be out there with deck chairs. Luckily, they put the stands up, and it looked pretty decent on TV. I was like, get your guys' thoughts on the differences between all the three stadiums, because the LA stadium has significantly bigger boundaries. And there was a significant less amount of sixes hit at LA. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there was like, I think only 2 sixes hit in one of the innings the other night. Yeah, did you guys notice that, or do you guys care about that stuff?
Well, I asked somebody about it in the press conference. I can't remember who it was, but I think the square boundaries especially, and as soon as they pointed it out, I looked at it and I could see quite big. And that's coupled with the fact that you had a pitch with variable bounce, where basically if you hit it on a back of the length, especially in or around off stump, like anybody trying to play that, but like you might as well leave it, because everything that was being played on that line and length, it was out. I'm curious to see if they're going to flatten the pitch at all for next year. And obviously the ground is still a work in progress. I have a feeling there's going to be even more permanent stands there next year. But yeah, I don't know. On the one hand, I do like seeing some sixes. What can I say? But on the other hand, I don't know. We saw so many flat pitches with small boundaries in the IPL. Like there's a part of me that was like, yes, a bowling pitch, let's go. Although the back of the lane stuff did get a little bit old after a while, but
Yeah, I feel like this is good for cricket. I feel like in general, the IPL and other T20 leagues want it to be higher scoring, want it to be sixes, because like more sixes equals more views. But I feel like we need to kind of go back to more traditional cricket playing, whether that means placing the shot better or whatever. But like us having a larger pitch and larger boundary means fewer sixes, which means that we'll have like more interesting kind of matches. I would love to see what the numbers are in like any kind of like viewership numbers between the three stadiums. Like, yeah, we know that the scores were different, but like, does that really have an impact on um, the viewership or like the success metrics that the league cares about? Because if there wasn't really an impact, then that's good. Then that's an argument for us to like have larger pitches, which then could like be bowler friendly.
Oh no, I'm all out. No, I don't want bowler friendly pitches at all. I want roads, absolute
No.
roads. Give me roads. Give me roads all day. I spoke to Donovan Ferreira. I spoke to Donovan Ferreira in the press conference, and he was like, "Yeah, until they build us roads, like this cricket isn't going to be good." Like that's something what he said. That's basically what he said. He's like, well, "What can you do? The balls keep low. Like 50% of the wickets are from like the bowls are from balls that bounced half of what they should have bounced. Like on the watch the replay, it just like they'll get like a foot off the ground. Like they won't even carry over the stumps when they should. And yeah, I don't like it when it's like bowler friendly. Like to be fair, like it should, because it shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should be able to have a true bounce. And the strategy that is implemented by the captains is what's the difference maker. Because that's the thing that gets me riled up. Is like if you don't have the right plan and you're getting caught, there are plenty of things you can do to change the game. So like that's where I stand. Like you can always like my go-to would be to bowling around the wicket, get a right-hander bowling around the wicket, darting him in at the stumps, like Yorker length. Like Yorkers have not been utilized as much as they should. Like last night, Shepherd bowled like 2 beautiful Yorkers back to back to Pretorius, and then didn't bowl another one again. Like they got caught. He absolutely carted them around the park. It was spin, it was pace, all getting carted, and then Shepherd went back-to-back Yorkers, almost got the LB. It was given out, then was referred and got taken back. Bowled another Yorker the next ball, jams the bat down, scurries in for a single. But I'm like, you can bowl that ball again. You can bowl it for a 4th time and a 5th time if you want. Like you can take the pitch out of the equation if the pitch is a road.
My only thing about it being like having more bowler-friendly pitches is that for USA cricket in general, it'll give them better like opportunities to get exposed to different conditions. Just because we've been seeing, especially in the most recent India versus England series, like when it's not a road and the players are so used to batting on roads, it definitely exposes them. As we've seen with India's top 3, they've really been. I wouldn't want to say struggle. Actually, I will say struggling a little bit just against true wickets. Like I remember Jafar Archer even said that it's nice to go quote unquote back to normal compared to the roads that we've seen. So I don't know. I feel like if every pitch on every league is a road, everything becomes sort of samey, and we don't get MLC's like own independent identity. It just become another T20 league where I think we can give MLC a twist.
There is also some space between absolute road and like bumpy ass Pomona. Like there's a little bit of a balance to strike in the middle there. I actually think on a good day Grand Prairie does a decent job of it. At least probably better than a lot of the pitches in the IPL. But yeah, I don't mind where was it? I think in Raipur was a road pitch with huge boundaries. I also don't mind that because then it's like, yeah, you'll get your true bounce, but try hitting it out of the ground. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, because Australia in Australia they have generally they have roads and the boundaries are quite significant. Like the MCG is huge, it's absolutely massive. I think that's the biggest ground in the world, and Chris Gale smacked him out of there. Warner would smack him out of there, like when they play Big Bash. So it's definitely doable. But yeah, it is about the balance. And my biggest concern is if the USA players, particularly, and the league itself, aren't able to create those massive highlight innings, then you never see them. So, like, if you get out for a duck, it doesn't help anyone. If you score 100, it really helps everyone. Like last night, Pretorius hit like 3 mega sixes, and like that's going to get shared. That's going to get like it's going to ripple effect through the cricket community. If that doesn't happen, then you don't see it. Like the games that when there's no big sixes and no big stuff, there's no big moments. It doesn't get shared. Like Timmy Seifert hit that big 100. Like that was really like super popular moment, and people are sharing it and talking about it. And last night's game, just the same. Same with Mitch Owen scoring 155. Like he almost broke Chris Gale's record. Like you need that. You know what I mean? Like without that, it's same. Like last year we had Glenn Maxwell scored that 100 at the Coliseum, and Finn Allen the 151 and the 19-6s. Like that's a record-setting moment, which puts MLC in the record books when we talk about records. So like that's the reason why I'm all in on roads and keep not making the boundaries too big, because it's like it's a buffer. It's a way for us to like elevate the game, to like get in conversations when you go down the record books and you go, oh, where are the top runs ever being scored? It's like, oh, well, 2 of the top runs ever scored in T20, top 5 are in the MLC. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like where I think about it.
I mean, I guess it's good because we're having both batting and bowling records this season.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's the other reason why LA just has like a larger pitch. Like they want like each leg to have a different set of records. It's all about manufacturing, like the records, manufacturing the data.
It could even just be as simple as they threw the place up in 2 months and they haven't fully ironed out all of the kinks of the ground yet. Like I definitely think they could pass the roller over those pitches a few more times and get them to be a little bit flatter. Ultimately, in LA, a road would be a very fitting tribute to how we all have to get to and from the ground. So it would be, it would certainly be fitting. But I'm really curious to see what we're going to end up getting in the finals because, like Adam, as you pointed out, in Oakland we've had some big totals, we've also had some small totals, and that pitch could be kind of really interesting and unpredictable. So from the more, I don't know, I guess the nerdier cricket side, I kind of like the like grab bag, what could like anything could happen aspect of Oakland as well.
Yeah, the thing with Oakland is it's way more than just the pitch itself. So it's actually the temperature, it's the moisture in the air. So that what happens when the lights come on and it switches from daytime to twilight time, the temperature drops. There's a significant drop in temperature, and as soon as those lights come on, that's when all the wickets fall. Like it's just a weird phenomenon if the ball moves a little more, and it just gets weird out there. Like last year, there was a significant stat that we put out that was like it was like 80% of all wickets fell in the last 10 overs of the first innings and the first 10 overs of the second innings. Like that's where 80% of all wickets fell for those games that were played at the night, because generally you're still starting in the daytime. For the morning game, it didn't matter. There was no significant change or no significant stat between batting or bowling first, because you both were exposed to basically the same conditions. But when it went to that nighttime period, if you batted second, you were up for a rough start. Swinging ball, cooler temperatures, the ball was moving a lot, and there was a bunch of times, I think it was 3 times last year, teams have got rolled out for less than 100. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for the final this year. And again, we would like it to not have that. We would like there to be like, 180 plus scores to make it like fun down to the wire competitive.
Just as a side note, I actually, before this season, I didn't realize how much data went into all of this. And there's just so much data and analytics. Like everyone has the same data. They're measuring literally everything. That's just like a side note. I didn't realize it until like I actually went to the games and heard people talking about it.
Well, and for some of these teams, it's really paying off. I mean, I asked Matt Short about this in the press conference the other day. From when he took 4 wickets, he took another 3 last night. I was like, what did you see? Was there anything in the pitch? He's like, no, it's the data, guys. They identified the matchups that I need to be in for and just bowled me. And now he looks like one of the best bowlers in the entire competition. But I can't help but think, especially for 2 straight, like, does he just match up really well against MI New York?
Yeah, the Matt Short thing is very significant. For me, it opened my eyes last season. He bowled a spell. I want to say it was SFU versus Texas, and they were getting absolutely carded in the power play. And then Matt Short come on, and he came on his right arm. He came on right arm around the wicket, and he just did what I said earlier. He just nailed the ball in at leg stump, and it like basically shunted them from like freeing their arms and getting the ball away, and they were just tucking it around the corner, hitting singles, or tucking it around the corner, hitting it to the fielder, and they weren't getting away. And he did it for a couple overs back to back, and it like shifted the momentum of the game. And I'm like, oh, this is like super interesting, because like that's all you need to do. As long as you can get the matchup right, and people be like, oh, then you got to put the leg spinner or the left arm off spinner with this and with that. Almost like if you just put the ball where they can't hit it, then they can't hit it. And and he just bowled exceptionally well last night. Last night he had the ball dancing. Last night the ball was dancing. The one they got for Polly to step back and just went through him. Yeah. I'm like, that's nuts. So yeah, and I think that's the way that cricket is going now. It's the data set, and it's the smart guys that are watching the breaking down, like just like we have in baseball, right? They break down like if you're better against a lefty pitcher or a right-handed pitcher, you're better against the sweeper, or you're better against the fastball. Like we're gonna get the same style of stuff coming to cricket, and then they're just gonna put the matchup for the matchup, and you know what I mean. It's good for the bowling team. It's terrible for the batting team.
Well, I mean, there we go. The batters have the short boundaries. Bowlers have the data.
There you go.
It matches up.
I'm down with it.
Alrighty, I think just like a quick moment, you guys might have talked about this when I was having the internet issues, but in terms of the playoff hunt, who do you guys have going through?
Oh, you want me to go first? Let me go. Oh, geez. So I think LAKR got exposed. I think they had a hot start, and then they've not had a good run after their little hot start they had. Yeah, I think SFU showed last night that they was pretty solid. But again, it's doesn't matter if I say SFU or if I say the Orcas, like Orcas or Freedom. I think if you took Freedom, Orcas, SFU, even Texas, like you have Faf Duplessis for Texas, you have Pretorius for SFU, you've got Timmy Seifert for the Orcas, and you have Mitch Owen for Washington Freedom. And then for LAKR, it was a Monroe, and then the other team is MI. MI hasn't had anyone really take off unless I include Pollard in that one game. But like for the five other teams other than MI, one of their openers has dominated their runs for the team. And when that person doesn't make runs, the rest of the team also doesn't really make runs. So that's always my concern is like, it's again, I could never really back a horse here to win this race because there hasn't been a team that's been able to consistently bat down the order. It's been off the back of like one person hits a really big score, and then the next game, if they don't hit that big score, the team generally suffers. That's my like take.
Yeah, I got okay, so this is hard for me to say because this kind of completely contradicts what I thought in the beginning of the season. But right now I have SFU, I have the Orcas, I have the Freedom, and I have LAKR going through. And here's kind of the rationale. So I don't think MI New York is going to go through, and I don't think TSK is going to go through. TSK is coming off of like a 3-game losing streak. They've already played 8 games, and they have a negative net run rate, which means that like they have to win the next game. But then it kind of comes into the run rate. Too many dependencies on other teams, plus the losing streak kind of like hurts momentum. But that does. The losing streak does make me think they'll win the next game, but it's just going to come down to the run rate for them. I think MI New York, it's kind of sad to see, the reigning champions. I don't think that they're going to make it to the playoffs. They played 8 games, and they also have like a slightly negative run rate. So too many dependencies. The Orcas completely surprised me. I think like their bowling attack is just insane. They have 2-3, some of the best bowlers right now. And I think that they'll be able to control the games going there. Unicorns, they're at 10 points. They're at the top, 2-game winning streak, so they're probably going to be fine. The Washington Freedom, they do have like the worst net run rate as like negative 0.6, but they've played like 7 games, so 1 game fewer, and they're coming off of like a 2-game winning streak. So I feel like that momentum's really going to help them. So yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised to at least think that like MI New York might not make it through. TSK I think was kind of like iffy at the beginning of the season.
I actually think San Francisco Unicorns and Seattle Orcas are definitely going through. Possibly Washington Freedom, maybe. And I think that 4th spot is still wide open. Even though Texas Super Kings has like a negative 0.1, if they win the next 2, they're through. But even if they win the next one, their run rate is higher than Mumbai Indians New York still, because so it's like it is possible that they still go through. I actually am backing the Texas Super Kings here.
Wow.
I kind of have.
Interesting.
I am, because their net run rate, if they win the next one, they'll be 8, and their net run rate is only negative 0.1. And if they win, their net run rate could go to positive, which could actually will make them jump to number 3 possibly, because number 3 currently is negative 0.2. I should know.
If I'm looking at the standings right now, basically tonight's matchup is Freedom and LAKR. Basically, it's a do or die match for LAKR. If LAKR lose this match, they're basically out. There's basically no way they can catch up, especially if I don't know how the math is mathing. But right now, I got like San Fran's on 5 wins, and Orcas are on 4 wins, MI's on 4 wins, and they all have 2 matches to play. So just 1 win gets them to 5, right? And so LAKR need 2 wins to make it to 5. They need to win 2 out of 3 to make it to 5 points. So if they lose tonight, I think they're almost out. And then Texas Super Kings, they've had 3 losses in a row. They've only got 2 games to make up 2 wins. So it would be kind of crazy, be kind of nuts. There'd have to be a couple of crazy upsets here for them too. Their next game is against the Freedom. They play the Freedom and they play the Night Riders, which actually is a pretty good matchup considering like they're the teams they have to try to hurdle to get over. So there's a chance for them. There's a chance. And actually it's going to come down to the last game. The last game will be on the 12th will be Texas Super Kings and the Knight Riders, which could end up be like last year, where it was like the last game came down to like, can MI beat LA to go into the finals, which they did.
I really like the Unicorns at the top. I learned this IPL season not to forecast teams too much in first place in the standings.
Yeah. How about those Kings? How about them Kings?
I mean, it sucks, but this is why you back the team that has a good captain.
Hey, it ain't his fault that nobody else made runs today, okay?
Wow.
Jeez, wow. Okay, all right.
Wow,
We're
that's
sniffing at each other
crazy.
already.
That's
I see.
crazy.
No, but I look, for me, the Unicorns have been just the most solidly competent team for me across the tournament. Yes, they've had a couple of losses, but I just think all around, the only thing that's really stopped Luandre Pretorius is a bowling-friendly pitch, which Oakland may or may not be. So I think that if he can just keep making runs, I think that the Unicorns have a very good chance of winning this whole thing. I like the Orcas as well. I actually really like Marcus Stoinis' captaincy. I think he's done a really good job of energizing that squad. So it's really nice to see, obviously, him, Punjab King, having so much success. As far as Ananya, I'm sorry, I don't love what I'm seeing from the Texas Super Kings right now. I don't
agree with you. I'm just backing them because I'm Texas.
Fair enough. Well, I'm about to do the same thing. Wishful thinking o'clock here. I am going to back the LA Knight Riders to get at least one of the last two spots there. And I will say, Adam, yes, we did kind of get exposed, but on the other hand, I feel like we kind of started from a place of being exposed and then kind of unexposed ourselves. So I don't know. I feel like there's been no more exposed cricket team possibly in the world over the past 3 years than the LA Knight Riders. But and then for fourth, I'm gonna go with the Freedom because most of the matches I've seen MI New York win have been really close. I think in any close match, MI New York is gonna take it, but the Unicorns just showed how to choke out MI New York really fast, so it won't even be remotely close. And I think that we're gonna see other teams replicate that strategy. So I'm gonna go with those as my top four.
Yeah, on the Freedom, you had notes here in the agenda, and you've noticed here like Netravolker, double digits, hasn't really been that impactful. Ferguson, Janssen haven't been that impactful. Got absolutely caught. Dutchy, I spoke about this with Amal when he was on the show. I was like, Dutchy should be in the American team. Dutchy's one of the best bowlers that we have. This whole off cutter, leg cutter, meta kind of style bowling where you're not bowling quick like Rashila Gurker and Chadley Van Kalsfake. I think this is where it's at on these pitches. Like you don't have to bowl express pace and the line and length and the heavy length and whatever. Cool. You're going to get smacked. They're going to smack you. Like that's just where it's at. And Dutchy and Rashil, like even Rashil, like last night, got caught a little bit at the end, but generally it's worked out where they've been taking 2 to 3 wickets, getting the edges and getting the breakthroughs. And so I think it's crucial that they pick Dutchy in the team for the Freedom because, Ratchen's coming back. I think Ratchen probably would make a start in the side also, which gives them another spin option, which gives them another batting option. That top order is pretty lock solid. I think they probably will continue not playing Maxwell. I don't feel like that will bring any more value to the team. He hasn't been playing well, unfortunately. And so I don't see a way that a reason to bring him back, especially like in amongst the names of Ferguson and Janssen also. Like I don't see them playing again. I think they're going to roll. I think they should be rolling with Dutchy and adding Ratchen in. And I'm not sure who's the man that's going to be bumped out. Maybe Pinar, I guess, a little bit. But
they lost Mark Chapman. He's headed to join New Zealand for the ODI series. So
there you go. There's your problem solved. Ratchen in for that. That's a good switch.
My one worry there, I put this in the notes as well, because Steve Smith and Mark Chapman brought home both wins for the Freedom in Pomona. Is the Smudge Rutchin partnership going to be up to that? I mean, on paper, I feel like it absolutely should be, but when they get out on the pitch, is that going to be there for them in the middle order if they need it?
Yeah, I feel like the Ratchet and Smudge thing is great. Like there's some situations we've seen a couple times now where you don't have to go hammer and tongue. You haven't got to smack 200 runs to win the game. You just got to be there at the end and not lose your wickets. And I think those two batters particularly are good at hanging around. They don't have to go big. They can just hang around. And I think they'll probably come down to some situations where you've just got to hang in there for 10 to 12 overs and give yourself a chance at the end. And those are two batters that I would like bet the house on to do that.
Do we know the starting 11 for the Freedom tonight? I don't see it on their social media page.
Let's see.
So generally, how it's worked
toss.
always is that they announce at the toss.
Toss.
Everything's at the toss. They announce, literally they'll ask Smith, they'll be like, any changes? And he'll be like, no. Or he'll be like, yeah, we got us in for whatever.
The only team that has a tendency to announce it the day before, I think, is England. But usually every single time it's announced at toss.
I know, like the Unicorns, at least for
the Unicorns do.
They post all the time. They posted it 3 times, and they like changed the lineup throughout the day, which I thought was funny.
I don't know why people do it, like not at toss. I think at toss is good because then
I see.
Yeah, I mean, I like the baseball. The way they do it in baseball, like they announce it like earlier in the day, and so everyone kind of knows what's happening, and the people talk about it. Like, I think that should be a thing.
Yeah,
to be fair, at the toss is like way too traditional.
Oh yeah,
I like at the toss that like suspense that kind of builds up to it. Like everyone can kind of talk about it, and then like eventually it gets like out there, and then you're like, oh wait, oh okay, they for some reason dropped person A for no reason, and then
I think the opposite because it gives no time. Like if you're running socials, it gives you no time to prep for like anything. Like if you give 3 hours notice, then you have 3 hours of time to like, okay, we had the lineups, and then you can make a post or you can do something about it and talk about it in the lead up to the game. Otherwise, there's no window of time between toss and the team to really like make something about it because you're doing other things at that point. Like that's where I sit.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're like in media, so how different.
Especially at the stadium. Like imagine if you're at the stadium. At the stadium, you have no idea until like literally like maybe 5 minutes before the game starts. They'll announce the team, roll on this big screen. So like, you know, if you're not watching it on the TV, then you don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't help for like promotion and advertising purposes too. Like the other night, MI New York had Shakib Al Hassan in the squad, and I feel like Shakib Al Hassan is still, I mean, he didn't perform that amazingly, but he's still somebody that people will get up and get out to see. And I didn't know he was even coming in until I think he started batting, and I was like, what? He's in the squad? Hell yeah.
If you think how baseball works, like, 5 days in advance which starting pitcher is going to start, and people talk about it. Oh, coming up, we got the matchup between blank and blank. Like, that matchup is coming up. In cricket, they shoot themselves in the foot because they don't have the ability to do that, which they think they should. They should almost like do something like that. Like, it's hard because they want to keep the team lifts private and not expose the matchups. But exposing the matchups creates attention and it creates enthusiasm in the game. I think I almost might put my foot down and say they should be declared like 24 hours in advance. They should declare who's going to be playing. And so you can have like, they should advertise it. So that it's like blank versus blank, we're going to see Pretorius versus Bolt. We're going to see, Pollard versus Russell, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I would do.
Yeah. I think it's also just super important for fan viewership, right? Like I have friends in the Bay Area that went to like several SF Unicorns games hoping that Ravi Ashwin would play, and he didn't play them.
That is the one thing I agree with.
Yeah.
Like, when I was there in Dallas, I was there to see Ravi Ashwin, and he wasn't playing. That is the one. Yeah, I do agree. If there's like some huge person there, you should let everyone know beforehand if he's going to be there or not.
Yeah, exactly. Because you get your hopes up, and then
he's just sitting there on the side.
Not going to come back,
Yeah, it was the biggest card they had, and they didn't play it, which was like didn't make any sense.
Well, now I read today he's out for the rest of the season because he hurt his knee.
I think he's injured.
Yeah.
So.
It says he was injured.
It
says that. It just says that. It says that. That's what it says. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Is he not?
Well, I remember a million years ago there was when Tim Duncan was still playing for the Spurs. I believe that Greg Popovich just got totally tired with making up excuses for this stuff and just wrote DNP old. So I wonder if we're ever going to see one of those in Major League Cricket.
Yeah. scary. I mean, for what it's worth, he's been in a lot of social media posts for the Europe's T20 league, the ETPL. So, that could be another theory that he's like focused on that stuff. But I feel like there are like other kind of reasons why he didn't really play. Which,
to be fair, that league looks also crazy. It's just it's basically MLC in Europe. To be fair, it's all the same players playing here, playing there. And that's the thing is that like people obviously in India get to watch the Indian team play and the IPL teams play. Not a lot of people have the luxury of getting over to watch them. So getting them to see them here, epic. And then now you're going to see them all play in Europe, which is also epic. And I think it's great for cricket. I can't wait to see some of the teams. I saw some of the teams, crazy. And then we're also going to have CPL also, which is going to feature a lot of the Caribbean players that we have. And actually, pretty fair, a lot of the people we see in MLC are also going to be playing in CPL. Timmy Safa just got signed with the Lucia Kings. And I'm sure there's a lot of American names. Netra Volker plays, Ali Khan plays. Shadley Van Kaalsbeek got signed.
Yeah.
So hopefully Krishnamurthy gets signed to someone. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, it's because that's going to be the next big thing. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. I want to be heavily involved with the CPL this season. And, they get their stadiums packed out. They love their cricket down there. It's all cricket. It's all they talk about. It's all they do. And it's going to be exciting to see like what they can put on and the show they put on, because those players are playing here, and when they play there, everyone comes to watch them play.
Yeah, the vibe is so different. I remember for the T20 2024 World Cup, I went down to Barbados for like the playoff matches, and everyone, right when you're walking on the street, just going to go to the restaurant or something, everyone's talking about cricket. And we were wearing like a USA jersey or like India jersey, and like people were heckling us. It was awesome. And like the entire stadium, I think it was West Indies versus USA. The entire stadium was sold out. We were probably one of like 5 fans of supporting USA. Everyone else was West Indies, and everyone was bullying us. The security guard, he remembered my face and everything. But it was good. It was good. Like I liked it. Like I like that kind of environment. And hopefully one day we see something similar in MLC. But also like for the ETPL, like the Europe's T20 league, I think that's really interesting because there's a lot of former players who are part of the ownership groups, right? Like for the MLC, it's mostly corporate ownerships and like private investments there. But like ETPL, you have Rahul Dravid, you have Chris Gayle, you have like a bunch of other really well-known people. And so that really helps bring a face to the game.
Alrighty, one last question on the MLC front. And Arjun, got to start with you as my fellow best coaster. Is this finally our year between the Orcas, the Knight Riders, the Corns? We got half the teams in the league. Are we going to bring it home this year to the best coast?
I think absolutely. Like if we don't, then it's not the best coast anymore. Just because we got 3 out of the 4 just being on the West Coast, so something's got to give. And I mean, realistically, I think it's going to be Seattle versus SFU as the final. Just so they've been, I think, just the strongest teams in general. So we'll see how that turns up. If it's going to be a good contest, if it's going to be a blowout. Or if somebody ends up pulling a MI New York from last year where they barely got in the playoffs and just ended up winning the whole thing. So
yeah, I'm going to go with that hill too. I mean, I have a soft spot for the Orcas, so I'd love to see them win. I guess also the Unicorns. That's who I have represented, I guess, in the background. I have the hat and the flag. No one else has made it. The box over there, if everything else is over there. So maybe it's subtle foreshadowing of who's going to make the finals.
I want the Orcas to win. SFU versus Seattle Orcas. I mean, I'd love for Texas to win, but I don't think they're going to make the finals. But if it's Orcas versus SFU, I'd want the Orcas to win. I like the Orcas a lot. Nothing against San Francisco, but Orcas for me. Or California.
Yeah, going into the season, I had Unicorns versus the Freedom in the finals with like Freedom winning it. I don't think Freedom's going to make it, but I think, SFU is going to make it. But just for diversity, like I would have said Orcas before this call, but if everyone's saying SFU versus Orcas, I can't say that. So I'm probably going to go with like SFU versus, let's go with LAKR.
Wow.
Let's spice it up a bit.
with the Spice Man, spice it up with the Spice Man.
NorCal and SoCal.
Exactly. Well, it's a classic rivalry. What can I say? You know what? I'm going to take that finals as well, though it's purely based on wishful thinking. My actual cricket analytics brain says that it's almost certainly going to be Seattle. Or I honestly look, if the Freedom can get their form together, I think that top to bottom that's a really hard team to beat. I mean, if Mitch Owen scores more than 50, even just with that one stat given and like everything else like completely left up to chance with the lineup that they found, especially like Ben Dwarshuis has been everything they wanted out of Marco Janssen and Lockie Ferguson. So they would kind of be my upset, but taking the wishful thinking, taking the hometown team. What can I say? I love LA on this podcast, and so I'm gonna say Unicorns over Knight Riders. I'll let my smart cricket brain win in that category in the final.
Well, Nick, you win either way if it's LA versus SF because it's California right there.
West Coast and California. Look, I'll settle for Seattle. I know Seattle's been getting, quite a lot of wins lately. They already have the Super Bowl in hand, so they've kind of been getting. They've kind of been. I know.
That would be crazy,
they've kind
though.
of been getting everything lately. But we'll see.
Wait, is there a
I don't
chance?
know.
Are they any good in baseball this year? How are the Mariners doing? Are they any good in the baseball this year or no?
They were
I don't
good.
know. They were good last year, and they have most of the same players. Although I don't know if Mr. Big Dumper has hit nearly as many home
He's not
runs as he
hitting.
hit last year.
But there's a chance there's a chance that you could get a Super Bowl win and a cricket win. That's a good thing right there.
No,
it's a pretty good double.
Super Bowl
I mean,
win was bad.
And who won? Did the Dodgers win the baseball last year? Dodgers win. So
Yeah,
the Dodgers have a chance now. LA has a chance to go Dodgers. LA. Whoa, it could be either or. Wow, we're gonna have double
Nick,
city wins.
Nick, this is your dream. This is your dream.
Oh well, I will say I would trade all of it for even just a Justin Herbert Super Bowl appearance, especially at home here in LA. But if we have to dominate the stick and ball sports, we have to dominate the stick and ball sports. What can I say?
Well, it's kind of like how Emma and New York have the current MLC championship right as the Knicks won. So we got a double New York one right now.
Oh, wow.
I forgot the Knicks.
Guys, I think we just made a post. I think we just made like a whole post right there. Can we get it? Would be
that
like
was also painful with the Knicks winning. I was not happy with that.
Oh, really? Oh, well, actually, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, they beat the Spurs.
That makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Why? No, that was amazing. The Knicks celebrations were also like insane. We almost got trampled in Stampede. We saw like a police car broken into, got tear gas thrown at us, someone threw firecrackers at us. But that's why you have to support, New York sports. I just wish the MI New York were doing better. Otherwise, I would have had them.
I was just saying I like the Mavericks, but Dallas Mavericks were not there, so I was going for the Spurs. And then the Spurs just they're just terrible people. So. But I was still rooting for them, hoping they would pull something off, but they did not.
Oh, Darren Fox brought a Sacramento Kings voodoo onto the Spurs, so you're welcome for that.
Oh, man.
Football and football, basketball. I don't really care much. I don't really watch basketball much, but football, IPL did not go my way. I was very sad. Nick is shaking. He's agreeing with me. I'm just happy we made it to the finals.
I'm ideologically consistent across the NFL and IPL, so I used to call it my biannual nightmare. It's not as much of a nightmare as it used to be, but I also it's the hope that kills you. So I will say the most insane parade is going to be the LA Knight Riders parade when I just go down Ventura Boulevard at like 60 miles an hour, honking my horn, waving an LA Knight Riders flag out of the top, and hopefully don't get pulled over.
I don't think you should say that right now because they're going to be looking for you though.
We'll see. I don't know if the LAPD knows that the LA Knight Riders exist, so I'm gonna roll the dice on that one. I hope I don't run into a blockade. Not too far down, but
like GTA going 5 stars. They'll just be waiting for you. Helicopters out and everything.
Literally,
that's a good exposure though. Good exposure.
Listen. They don't ask how, they ask how many, and I would probably get at least 50 followers from doing that, okay? They might all be the cops that arrest me, but still.
Well, only for content. Let's do it for content.
Only for content.
Respect. I respect Nick. Respect.
Dude, I've been so like beaten down by LAKR, PBKS, and the Chargers that like the cathartic release is gonna be it's gonna be the only bigger one. Arjun, is when your Sacramento Kings win the NBA Finals.
Oh, my grandkids aren't even going to be seeing that, so that's out of the question.
Never say never. So people might
Hey,
have said the same thing.
Rangers won after like a really long time in baseball. Again, don't follow baseball, but I heard it was like a very big thing when the Rangers won like a few years back. But hey, you never know. People can pull something off.
The
Sports
Knicks. I mean, the Knicks 7-8 years ago looked like they were never going to win another championship, and here we are. So
Yeah, anything's
you never
possible.
know. Let's move on to the happiest topic we could possibly be talking about that is going to give all of us massive smiles across our faces, which is, of course, the ongoing Indian national team to visit to the British Isles. Now, if you contact the lamestream media, they will have you believe that India has not won a single game in this entire series. But of course, real patriots know that Shreyas Iyer is the greatest human being ever to walk this earth, and it is physically impossible for him to lose the cricket match, and all of those scores are completely fake, okay?
Seems legit.
Nothing
legit.
against Shreyas. Dropping Sky hurt me so much. Like, sure, get like what they did in the ODI series, like when they gave Gill captaincy but kept Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. I was happy with that. Dropping Sky just like that and giving the captaincy to Shreyas, who hasn't even been in the setup for three years, is like probably the dumbest move on the planet. Like, why? You at least get him in, fine. Get him in, get him a little bit more exposure to the international, because it has obviously changed in like the past 3 years. And obviously, like Arjun was saying, like a few minutes back, like they play in IPL on, it's like pure flat pitches. And then we now see that Abhishek, Vaibhav Suryavanshi are having trouble on bowling pitches, for sure. It's more like balanced between the two, but again, nothing against Shreyas. I just don't think right now he was the best fit for captain. You can't blame his captaincy, obviously, for the batting, but for the fielding and the bowling, it has not been up to par for sure. Not great. I mean, he lost again. Sorry, buddy. Sorry to my Punjab Kings fans, Arjun and Nick. But the way he has captained T20 in the past few matches has not been great.
To be
Ishan,
fair,
what's the better option?
To be fair, you cannot control as a captain if somebody bowls 3 no balls as a spinner to lose you the game. You can't control that, you know?
You also cannot say, oh, you know what? I think we all know where we lost the match, but I am not going to pinpoint anything. Sky never said that, and Gill doesn't say that. This man has not, again, Shreyas kind of needs to take it down about 10 notches in the way he talks about like people. I've heard Gill say, I could have done this, but if a player drops a catch, he'll go, we need to be better with our fielding. I am a very big Shubman Gill fan. I think everybody has come to that realization. But again,
what? No.
But again, I don't Shubman Gill shouldn't be in the T20 setup, but I think Ishan would have probably been a better option, at least to try it out. I mean, he was the U19 captain, and he had taken India to the finals, and I think he would have just been an option to try out. And they debuted Vaibhav Suryavanshi way too early, honestly. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was. And why would you drop Sanju? He was player of the tournament. Too many mistakes that they have done, and it's not even though Gautam Gambhir said it was a transition period. That's total whatever. I don't want to say.
You can say it. You can say it, Ananya.
Okay, I'm allowed to curse on here.
Yes.
Okay, it's total bullshit. Like, it is
This
not
is a Chargers podcast. We would be dead if we couldn't curse on here.
It is not a damn transition period. What was a transition period was July 2025 when Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli weren't there. Shubman Gill was handed brand new captaincy. That is a transition period. Here you have World Cup winning people. Abhishek, Ishan, Tilak Varma. Everybody had played in the World Cup before, except for maybe Vaibhav Suryavanshi. So what Gautam Gambhir is saying is total bullshit. So I don't agree with that, and India needs to do their own thing. I get very heated when people are saying transition period. about them, but India just sucks right now.
So I can tell you where Sky is. Sky's coming to America. That's where Sky is. Sky's now the MLB ambassador.
I'm so happy to see that. I want to meet Sky so badly. Like, he's just genuinely, they screwed him over. Like, that was bad what they did. Because the thing that I have with Sky is he could have trained the new captain, which is he had never lost a bilateral series ever in his years as captaincy. Training the new captain could have been his job, which is what Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are doing to Gill. I'm not saying losing a series is a bad thing. It's fine. But come on, getting whitewashed by Ireland and possibly now England, that has got to be a record, and a very poor record to start off your captaincy. Keep in mind, and again, this is Shubman Gill, fan here, he debuted against England in England and against Australia in Australia, and he still wasn't whitewashed. So just putting that out there.
So the thing with India is that they could play 4 teams.
Yeah.
There's 4 teams that India can play, and then any combination of those 4 can play. Even saying that, yes, they went ahead and won the World Cup, and they won the World Cup, the T20 World Cup before that as well. So they won the T20 World Cup back to back.
Yeah.
In T20 cricket, I mean, anyone can win on any day. There's no like guaranteed winner. It's just like better odds. And sure, you can go to Ireland and get beaten by Ireland. Like, that's a real thing. And you can get beaten by England. England's a second-ranked team. You got to think, considering that England is the second-ranked team in the world. So that also can happen. And I don't think even if Sky was playing, I don't think, like, if you consider that the India were in, let's think about the last T20 match. They were 66 for 7. And that was the same position that USA had India at in the World Cup. And then Sky came in and hit Netravolka for 1 billion runs and got him to a decent score. So maybe you could say that Sky would have made the difference, but he also got dropped by Ranjane, and that would have been over. It would have been game over. USA beat India. It would have been the biggest upset in cricket. So cricket's so volatile. Anything can happen. 1 wicket, 1 brings 2. All of a sudden, you roll out for 90. And especially in these series, they don't matter. These are series that don't matter at all. Like, there is no consequence to this. They're going to throw anyone else that wants a chance in because they don't need to win. That's really what it is. I feel like anyone they could have. That's why Suryavanchi's in. Doesn't matter if he gets a duck. Doesn't matter if he gets 3. Doesn't matter if he gets 100. Like, he dominated in the IPL on roads, and he has to learn how to bat everywhere else in the world. It's similar to Joe Root. Joe Root he's batted in England most of his life, and he's scored 14,000 runs, but he's had struggled to score runs in Australia. He had struggled against Australia, and then he eventually did score some runs in the Ashes. But it's different. It's different nowadays, and India are in a spot where they have to rotate through all of their available players to get international game time because some of them aren't never going to get a chance unless they rotate everyone.
I was just going to say, like, in the terms of transition period, I think the goal is to be able to get the best team possible for the 28 World Cup and, more importantly for all of us, the 28 Olympics that are going to be in LA. So I think, like Adam said, it is very good to just keep trying out all these players, see what sticks, what doesn't, and, get the best combination absolutely possible.
No, the problem that I have with this whole rotating players thing is they're not actually doing it full-on rotation. They're keeping this majority of the players are the same, and they claim they're picking based off of IPL performances. If they are, where is Rajat Patar? Where is Bhuvaneshwar Kumar? There are so many good players that have performed in where's maybe Sai Sudarshan is like more of the old format T20, which is why they're not picking him. But Rajat Patar, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Shami, where are all of these guys? They performed very, very well, and they are not in India's plans to bring them. Rajat Patar is a really, really good captain. If I were to give captaincy, I would have given it to him. 2 back-to-back trophies in the IPL with the team that he hadn't really captained before. Where is Venkatesh Iyer? There's so many players that they're not picking based off of IPL performances. They're picking based off of like who will be the new face. I don't think they're doing like a really good job in selection. I don't agree. I get about the whole rotation thing that y'all are talking about, but I don't think they're doing a very good job with rotating.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get hate for saying this, but I'm glad that India's losing. I think we need more
I'm on your
David.
side. I agree.
I think we need more David versus Goliath stories. This is net good for cricket, right? So you have like now India's on its toes. Now India's trying to like see what we need to do in order to like win more matches. But this is also really good for Ireland because it like helps build so much momentum and so much excitement within the country. Now we're like before the match, who was talking about Ireland cricket? Now we're talking about them, and like it gives it's just like how we're so excited about cricket here in America because of like the 24 performance and like the future stuff in 28. These kind of sporadic events are like super important for smaller countries such as like Ireland and all of that. So I would like to see more upsets. I would like to see more poor captaincy, decision making, whatever we want to blame it on. I always love the underdog.
We see Australia's in a similar boat. They're in a similar boat to India, where they're going to go through this transition period, if you will. And where the issue that I have with cricket, especially in T20 cricket, is going to the days that we have specialist players and specialist roles. So, like, if you go, I always just refer back to the Australian team of the 2000s. Like, it was specialist openers, Langer and Hayden, and then it was specialist number 3, Ricky Ponting, specialist number 4. You had Clark or War, whatever era you want to talk about, and then you had a specialist 5, and you'd go down to Hussey and Simons, and then you had your specialist bowlers. You had Warne and McGrath and Lee and Gillespie, and the team was so hard to get into that team. And there are people that played first class cricket in Australia, like Brad Hodge, that has scored tens of thousands of first class runs, and they could never ever make it into the side because they already had their best opening pair. And like as Australia's in a situation, and India and Australia are in the same situation. Like India and Australia both have their players are all openers. Like if you look at the Australian cricket team, you have Mitch Owen can't even get a start in the team, to be fair. You have Matt Short, who's technically an opener, who'll bat down the order. You have Matt Renshaw as an opener who bats down the order. You have Cameron Green, who's, doing whatever he's doing. And you have Marnus Labuschagne still on the side, not making any runs. And they are just, there's no specialists. And same with India. You could have Ishan Kishan. You could have Abhishek Sharma. You could have Surivanshi. You could have Gill. Anyone could open. Anyone could be in those positions. But it's about, locking in on the 11 that you want in the specialist role and picking on the role. So, like, I don't believe that just because the third best batter, the third best opener, as in like the next best opener, just because they're the next best batter should be the 4. I think you should have the best number 4 should bat number 4.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also in a reality where T20 cricket's moving into this situation where, like the other night, they changed, like Washington Freedom changed the order a little bit. Like sometimes you can change the order when you want like an anchor player to kind of stay in the whole game, and you don't bring like Donovan Ferreira. For example, TSK, they held him out. Technically, he was meant to come in at 5, but they held him back so that he could only come in towards the end because he's a specialist closer. And so we're probably going to see that more now in T22 where the players are floating. They're kind of like floating players. I'll move them in and out in game situation, which I kind of like and also don't like as a traditionalist that likes cricket, like especially getting the side married together. You're going to have these issues with people like, why didn't they pick that person? Or why didn't they pick that person? Like it should just be the best 2 openers, the best 3, best 4, best 5, the best all-rounder, and then the best 4 set bowlers should be how it works. And we're going to get situations where coming into like Olympics and the next World Cup where, I think Australia is going to get smoked, like absolutely smoked. Like they are ranked number 3, or I think they are right now in T20s. At the World Cup, I'm like, I can't see them above 8, to be fair. And then they got kicked out of the finals. They didn't even qualify out of the pool stage. I'm like, Zimbabwe will roll through them. And they did. Like that's just how I see that going. And India just have a luxury of like anyone could play in the position and still win them the game, where I don't think Australia has that luxury right now unless they really sort out who's batting where, to be fair.
Well, it's crazy to think about that because Australia still has a ton of talent in the squad, right? You're talking about Mitch Owen not even being able to get it. He was MLC MVP last year. Could even probably still make a case to be that again this year. And yet he couldn't even get in for Punjab Kings, but Punjab Kings had Cooper Connolly, who completely broke out and was one of the best players on our team. Like, it's crazy to think you had Mitchell Marsh basically carrying LSG on his back, which is, got to be one of the hardest things to do in all of sports. Like, there's so much talent in this. You still have Pat Cummins, you still have Mitchell Stark, right? Two of the best bowlers in the world,
For a
even
time,
Hazelwood as well.
they're coming out of. They're going to be rolling out of. They're going to be leaving soon.
But they'll be in for the World Cup and the Olympics, right?
Well, there's no guarantee on that. There's no guarantee for that.
Did he retire from T20, or is he still there? I thought he retired.
Stark still plays T20s.
He retired from one of the formats. I think it was
definitely ODIs. He definitely retired from
Maybe it was
ODIs. That's
ODIs.
for sure. Yeah.
I know he retired from one format. I wasn't sure. I didn't remember which
Yeah.
one.
Well, technically, I guess he played IPL. Maybe he retired from international. Maybe he retired from international cricket from Australia. I think probably. I think he still plays IPL. But yeah, he's locked in on the test. I think. Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it rolls into the Olympics because Smudge is trying to get there. Cummins and Hazelwood and Stark, that's the best bowling we have, but they're going to be getting into their 37, 38 by the time we roll into that, which will be tough.
Yeah, for fast bowlers, that is really fast bowlers have a really 35 kind of age limit. Stark is one of those exceptions in being amazing still.
Well, I'm just for the Olympics, we've seen the way this pitch behaves in LA. Surely we can find 3 guys in Australia who can bowl pace on the back of a length in or around off stump and just take a bunch of wickets. It feels like that should be, fairly easy to find in the Australian setup. I suppose they could go for some of the guys that have been, Ben Dwarshuis has been taking a lot of wickets as well. Mitch Owen was very effective on that pitch. So, but yeah, I just think there's so much talent, especially all-round talent coming up through. Mitch Owen and Cooper Connolly could be the anchor of a great T20 side for years, I feel like, just between the two of them if they're used correctly.
Yeah, until they get it all put together for Australian cricket. If you looked through to the Olympics, it's probably going to be Mitch Owen, Cooper Connolly, you'll have Aaron Hardy, you'll have Ben Dwarshuis, you'll have, I don't know if Marsh and Head maybe get there, but if you consider Marsh is on his almost third comeback tour. He played cricket early on for Australia. Everyone in Australia hated him, and then he came out and he scored 100 on whatever day it was. I've been sure at the MCG, scored 100, and he became another hero again. Fell out of form again, was cut out of the Test team, and then all of a sudden found some form as the white ball captain for Australia, and then he went to India. This year he had a good T20 season, but his 2024 T20 campaign was terrible. So he has this weird good in one format, bad in another format, and he's been floating through the air. And like I said, with age, it's an aging Australian team. I don't know if they're going to all last, but the players we have now that are Australian playing in the MLC are most likely the team that we'll see play in the Olympics.
I think that they will be probably more competitive than they were in this year's World Cup because even with the deficiencies, I don't know, I still felt like they underachieved maybe just a little bit, but definitely, I don't know. I just maybe I'm too infatuated with one or two players, but I feel like Australia has to do better than this. And the other thing, I guess a little bit of a transition here. The other thing that makes me think Australia has to be better than this is we just watched a women's T20 World Cup that you almost didn't even need to play because Australia just rolled through everybody with no problems whatsoever. Maybe all the talent is just going to women's cricket now for Australia.
So the big difference between Australia and the rest of the world is obviously Australia punches above their weight. They only have 27 million people. And as someone that played grade cricket in Australia, involved in women's cricket in Australia a little bit, the way that Australians train and the way that the systems are set up here, it's just so more advanced than everyone else. From such a young age, you're working at such a high level, and the standard is so high that as it just stacks. So it's this constant stacking. So the Australian women's team are just so far advanced, physically, mentally, a cricket IQ. They're just so much further ahead than the other teams. And if you look at, no offense to the American women's cricketers, but it's chalk and cheese, what the Australians are able to put out and what the women's cricket in America is able to put out, because there's just not the standard of coaching and the standard of application isn't there. It's it is from a young age in Australia, your cricket bat's in your hand and you're going through the academies and you're playing with the guys, and they have a big women's cricket system, and like they have a very high level coaches coaching you, and it's all well put together and well coached, and it all just kind of like creams to the top, and they put out incredible cricketers.
Well, and talk about a team that fits very well together. Like, I feel like just that's an order that's almost completely perfect. If all, as Arjun, as you and I saw at Lords, like, even if all else fails, even if Georgia Bowl goes out second ball, when it gets to Ash Gardner and Elise Perry, good luck breaking that partnership, right? Even further, they have batting so far down the order. I feel like most of their bowlers can bat. I was watching Jared Kimber was talking about Kim Garth, who comes in at like number 9 or 10, who opened the batting when she played for Ireland. Like, I don't know. Can you construct a cricket team better than this current Australian women's team?
No.
Is that to me? I mean, in women's cricket, no. In women's cricket, no. Obviously, in men's cricket, you got the 2000 Aussie side, triple World Cup winning side. Obviously, they've gone ahead and won their 7th title or 8th title. Obviously, it's hard to compare with the guys' teams versus the girls' teams, but like I said, in the women's realm, like they're just so dominant. It is hard to get even a close second. They'll just roll through you. That's just because the standard is so high. And like I said, they can bat all the way down, and that's what the difference is. Like especially in the women's cricket, like the further you can bat down, the stronger your team's going to be, and that's really like where it's at. It's hard to. It's in the men's league. You can put in someone like let's say an Adam Zampa, for example, like can't bat really at all, or like Inetra Volker or Sheila Gurkha, like they can't bat, but they're going to make it into the team because like when they would have the ball in hand, they're so valuable with the ball. Where in the women's game, it's like the more batters you can stack into your team, the longer you can get that list to go down, because the difference in bowling isn't as variant. The variance isn't there as much, because the women's bowling, as long as you can get that seam upright with the way that the women's bowl and the pace, the ball swings. The ball swings so much more in women's game than it does in the men's game, just because it's a little slower. The slower the ball is, it gives it more time to move in the air. And we're also seeing a lot of like really good spin coming out of like the women's game. There is lacking some incredible spinners I noticed from the World Cup, like especially the girls from the Netherlands. I'd never seen them before, and they're like, holy, they're like very Rashid Khan-esque kind of bowling. But yeah, I mean, the game's going to keep growing, and the level's going to always keep going up and up and up. And I think Australia's just so far ahead that it's going to be hard for everyone else to catch up.
I mean, I feel like Team India at least has a chance, just given the sheer level of talent across the board that's in that team. But I think, as we saw in that last match of the group stage, it's not just about having the talent, it's about capitalizing on the opportunities. Because as Terminator-like as the Australian women are, they're not entirely indomitable, right? They lost wickets early. India, if they could have capitalized, I mean, I was telling you in the stands, Arjun, I thought they should have brought on Sri Charney about 2 or 3 overs before they actually did. But it's ultimately going to come down to how much you can make, especially for India, how much you can make that individual talent work. You have the WPL coming up, so there's that much more incentive to really make it to the top level, make it into the Indian national team. And you have these big time stars, obviously Harmanpreet Kaur forever, but Smriti Mandana's there, Shafali Verma, an excellent all-round star, Deepti Sharma, like usually will get you a wicket when as soon as you need. Like, I feel like that's the team that's right there in terms of being able to challenge it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What more do you think they have to do in order to be able to break the reign of terror, shall we say, of the indomitable Australian women?
You got to be more aggressive. To be fair, like everyone's got to get more aggressive. Like I know it's like the women's game. Like I don't know how to phrase this. Like, you know what I mean? But like you have to be aggressive. Like you have to be ruthless. Like cricket's a game like you're not going to get. Maybe you do get second chances, but the Australians just play at such a high level that you have to bring it to them. Like best, let's just say they embody like a Dale Steyn spirit. They just like bring on a Dale Steyn spirit. Like that's the level that I think some of these women have to go to like break Australia is like just they have to be like enforcers, like because Dale Steyn, was scary. Like shout back to us, scary. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're versing like some of the best players in the world, sometimes you got to like just like get in their head a little bit. And I think like that's really a way to do it. And obviously, like we spoke about earlier, we're like doing the math and all the stats. I'm sure there's a way that enough people get eyeballs on it to be like break down. Okay, there's some ways we can break through here against the batters, and then just be ruthless in getting those wickets and sticking to it. But that comes with training and discipline and a whole line of things. And again, but it's also cricket. You can take 10 wickets. It takes 10 wickets and you get them out.
Well, and I think that mental aspect is so important. I would take a sports psychologist for probably both Indian teams at this point, but before that, the Punjab Kings and especially our bowling attack. Like, I just think that, the mental aspect of all of this stuff, it's so important and people discount it. And that's what makes these Australian women so Terminator-like, is that they just don't ever seem to be bothered about anything. Nothing seems to really phase them. And like watching them talk about winning the tournament, like, yes, they were happy, but there was almost a level of expectation. Like they knew they were going to be there. And I think that no matter whether or not you win or lose, if you really want to have a chance to win the tournament, you gotta know you're gonna you gotta have a part of you that like believes to the ends of the earth that you're gonna be on that podium at the end of the tournament. Because if you don't, like, it doesn't really matter.
The issue with the Punjab Kings was not like everything. Their fielding was just really, really bad. They had a good their batting was pretty decent. Their bowling was okay. They just sucked at catching. That was their only issue. If they actually held on to their catches, I'm happy because the Punjab Kings probably would have knocked Gujarat out if they had actually gone through, but they didn't. So again, sorry, my Punjab Kings fans. I was very happy.
The montage of Ricky Ponting just chewing his gum, like in the dugout while they're dropping catches, is hilarious. Just he's like,
at this point, people who were hitting to like, oh my god, I forgot who it was. Like I think it was like
Shashank, probably Shashank.
Yeah, Shashank. Like they were happy. I saw so many memes of people like jumping with joy when their batting was close to him because they knew he would drop it. Like that was your only issue, was your fielding was just so bad. For some reason, it was only the second half. Your first half, you were fine. I don't know what happened to you guys in the second half.
Real quick, I just want to go back to the Australia women's thing really quick, just because I was at the final and I was watching them play, and just it did not feel like a final whatsoever. They had England outclassed at every single point, to where it just felt like it was a friendly game. Like Australia was just like, you know what, whatever, this is just another game for us. And I think that's why they keep winning, because they don't have the pressure of like, oh, this is a big game for us. This is another game where we're just gonna be professionals and just keep going, doing our thing, and it's another in the office for them. But then also transitioning to the Punjab Kings thing really quick. It does suck because they had the best ever start to an IPL season and then didn't make the playoffs.
It's, again, your fielding was just not good. Your batting was fine. You had a really deep batting depth. You had a pretty decent bowling lineup. If you don't that stuff, you guys will. I get your openers kind of screwed up sometimes, but you still had a pretty deep. You were not like us, where we had two batters. You were not us. So
I have to invert.
You've only ever had two batters.
Yeah. Okay, well, we had Hardik Pandya and then we had David Miller. So when we had that, we were pretty good.
Who's David Miller? Never heard of him. Don't know that guy. I only know that guy because he's in the highlight package of getting caught out by Sky in the World Cup. That's so.
We had Hardik Pandya.
Jokes. Sorry, David Miller. No offense.
There was the refusal to take the single this year as well that caused what was that, Daly? That was one of the
that's one of the worst things I've ever seen on a cricket field. To be fair.
That was also half the reason why we were number 2, is because of that. Like, match.
But that's one of the worst calls ever. To be fair,
we got lucky on some of the stuff for sure. But then you have to learn. We have to see that how Gill's captaincy, the addition of Jason Holder, all of that, how it really improved throughout the second half of the season, for sure. Because it wasn't pure luck that we made it to number 2, but
no. I thought that bringing in Jason Holder was a huge part of it. I thought he basically completed and unlocked the entire lineup. The one last thing I will say on the Punjab Kings, again, Chargers, the 2010, I believe, or 2009, 2010 San Diego Chargers, #1 offense in the NFL, #1 defense in the NFL, worst special teams in the history of the NFL, missed the playoffs. And that's the year of Punjab Kings history that we were in this year. But yeah, Ananya, I wish that Jason Holder could bring the same type of match-winning transformation to the LA Knight Riders that he did to the Gujarat Titans. I don't know what's up with my boy.
I honestly, even when the T20, like Prasidh Krishna and Washington Sundar, maybe they're just not T20 players. But for some reason, when you see Prasidh Krishna in like tests and ODIs, for some reason he magically transforms. This again may be how Shubman Gill kind of knows how to captain all of his bowlers because he knows their strengths and weaknesses very, very well. Maybe that's kind of why they perform under him. Again, this is like a whole Gujarat Titans like they're obviously they all play together, so they know. But Prasidh Krishna in that Afghanistan, I think it was the third ODI. It was the fiver he got, or he got like 5 or 6 wickets or something. And then now you see him in T20, and he's like leaking runs. He's like England's 12th player basically. So it's like I don't know what happens to him in the other two formats, why he suddenly becomes a really good bowler and then transitions into a really bad bowler. Maybe he's just not a T20 bowler. I think that was also the difference maker with Holder also. He knew how to handle Holder very well. Holder's a great bowler, don't get me wrong. But I think who the captain is matters a lot. When to use it, how to use it.
Well, and maybe Holder's not a captain as well because he's having to do all those duties for LAKR at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
It's been up and down, you know.
Certain people can be captain, certain people like can't. That doesn't make them a bad player. It just captaincy really matters in certain aspects.
If you remember from the late 90s, early 2000s, Sachin was a great player, but as a captain, he fell short. So, like, even the greats can't always captain.
Yeah, that isn't
captaincy only truly matters when you're fielding. To be fair, like if you're batting, it's like you don't have much say as a captain while you're batting. But you change the batting order, you set the batting order, but the batting order still probably runs with the coach, even more than the captain for the batting order. And while you're out there as the captain, maybe you're going to have a good partnership, but you can't really affect the course of the game as a captain while you're batting. You affect the captain. The captaincy affects the game while bowling. So where the fields are being placed, who's in the ring, who's out of the ring, where everyone is, who's bowling when, if they're coming around the wicket, over the wicket, like that's where the captain matters and the strategy comes into it. So yeah, and that's going to be the difference maker. I didn't watch too much of their series to know like if there's anything that was super out of the ordinary. Generally, if I'm watching a series, I'm on like that's a bad decision. When we were at Oakland, I was like, there was some terrible fielding positions. I was like, what are we doing? I forget. There was example was like they had a deep square leg and play for the power play. And I'm like, there's no reason to have a deep square leg unless you're going to bowl short. And there wasn't one short ball bowled. So I was unclear on like why they were doing that. But yeah, that's where the difference comes in, and it's those small margins as a captain while you're fielding that they can win you or lose you a game.
Yeah, and generally, like we talked about earlier with strategy, is that a lot of it is done by the data people now. So a lot of those strategies are already pre-placed. It's just when to implement them is now sort of what the captain does.
Although I'll say, like, just to echo that, Adam, the big Robin Powell innings was like, I feel like, and to what you said, Arjun, like there couldn't have been any data with this because the beginning of it, one of the things that really got him going was they kept bowling that back of the length, but there was not a single fielder behind square whatsoever. I mean, I was the closest fielder behind square in the freaking media tent. Like, they didn't put anybody, and I'm like, surely, I don't care what ground you're on, you want to have at least a third man, maybe even at least a deep fine leg, so that they don't just like get a little bit of bat on the ball. And that's what Rothman did. He got at least 2 or 3 fours by just doinking it and letting it run away to the boundary. And I was like, this is Fuff Duplessis, like, of all people. Surely Fuff should be able to see this. And I think he did. I mean, there was a lot more protection behind square in the next match, but I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think, and I am kind of surprised. We haven't seen a lot of ramping this year. Like coming to America when I first started playing club cricket here, it's like no one fields behind square. I'm like, what is happening? Why are all the fielders in front of me? That's so bizarre. So I would just ramp everyone, and then you score your runs behind you, and then they have to put people down at fine leg and third man. And then you got to space somewhere else. Then you hit the ball back over the bowler's head. You hit the mid on because no one was there now. And then like you're moving the field around. You're making the captain change where he puts the fielders. And I don't think we've seen too much of that. And that's where that's the difference. Like if you look to the World Cup, Shelley's Van Kalsvik took all those wickets, and they had figured out Ali Khan and him and the USA team had figured out Abhishek Sharma. Abhishek Sharma had this series of wickets where he was getting caught out at deep extra cover, slashing big onto the fence. And so they set it up. We're just going to bowl full and wide outside off stump and let him hit it down the throat. And Krishnamurti takes the catch. Like things like that. Like if you can do things like that as a team, like know where they like to hit and let them try to hit there. And yeah, plug the holes. Then you can restrict and you can get wickets and yeah. If you don't, then you get exposed. If you just keep bowling in the slot and you keep getting smacked, then you know what I mean. Problem Pal's gonna hit you for 5 6s.
I think the issue with the current Indian, like England, the team that's playing against England, is minus out the fact that they have to hit everything for a boundary. Like you said, Adam, they are very, very predictable. Every single time, like what they're gonna do. We've seen Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Abhishek Sharma. It looks like even Ishan Kishan. They don't have as much variation versus if you kind of see like the way Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, even Shubman Gill, and maybe even Sai Sudarshan, the way they play, they have a little bit more variation. It's probably why they don't hit every ball for a boundary, because that's just maybe not their style. So in there, I genuinely think bringing, well, obviously Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma have retired from T20, but maybe if defending is something, even though you only have 120 balls, is something maybe you need to learn in T20. Don't like defend 2 overs for sure, but hitting every ball and attacking it in a pitch like England was not necessary. That's the reason why they lost, is because of number 1, their predictability, and number 2, of the fact that they need to slog every ball. There was no need for that.
Well, three of the 4 people you mentioned are Test cricketers, so like that's the difference. Is like the Test cricket, like Ishan Kishan, Abhishek Sharma, and Suryavanshi aren't Test cricketers.
Well, like, yeah, I don't want them to go into Test cricket. I'm talking about in T20.
No, but I mean, but Sharma and Kohli and Gill, Test cricketers. They can play Test cricket. They're true cricketers. Like T20 cricket and Test cricket, like T20 cricket's not real cricket. It's like fake cricket. It's like a bat and a ball and you smack it. Like it's like I'd never played Test cricket. I'd never played T20 cricket in my life. I'd only played 40 over cricket in Australia, and I would like get reprimanded for hitting the ball in the air. It was only on the carpet. It was like traditional cricket shots. It was never expansive. It was like I got coached by Doug Walters and Dean Jones, like Australian like greats of the game, and that's how you got taught. Like the way that Gill is, I think, the best technical batter we have in the world right now. The way that he plays, even the way that he plays T20 cricket, he doesn't slog. He's not a slogger. This is the way you play a cover drive. The way he plays an on drive. It's beautiful stroke making, the way that he plays, and he finds the gap. Whereas Ishan Kishan, Abhishek Sharma, Suryavanshi, they're slugging it. They're absolutely smacking the ball, and that has its place. But you also have like these traditional Test match cricketers, like with the old school cricket technique. They're the ones that are over time. Like this is like New Zealand versus England argument. Like I see in your stats, the agenda here, like talking about this. Like this is why England will never be anything in Test cricket, because they've gone to this Bazball-esque style of cricket, and the traditional style of Test match cricket will always, over time, outperform that. Maybe you get one or two crazy games where a Bazball and the aggressive nature wins you a game when needed, but over time, over reps and reps and reps, just playing traditional style cricket will win you out over time the longer you keep playing the game. And that's the challenge that India is going to have, because they have all these sloggers, and the traditional heads and the traditional way of playing cricket isn't there. So if you get stuck, you're stuck. You got no one that can bat out the innings. Like having Sharma and Kohli, Gill, those guys, they can bat for hours and hours and hours. So yeah, that's how I feel about like T20 versus like Test match cricket. Is like you want to have some Test cricketers playing. Like that's why I believe in Smudge to play for Australia, because you need at least one anchor person that can just, play out the innings for you if you need to.
Well, and that's been one of the really good things we've been seeing for LAKR this year. One of the few consistent things about our lineup is Colin Monroe has been there to play anchor. In fact, I think they dropped him for the last game, and our batting didn't go as hard as maybe it needed to. The one thing I will say about Bazball, Adam, is that they are playing for something greater. They're really redefining the game with Bazball. So, you might not get to win, but what you do get to do is you get to play for something greater. And, that surely, England has not lost a single moral victory a single time since Brendan McCullum took over. And you do have to acknowledge the moral victories record. Also, undefeated in bar fights. Just saying.
I feel like it's one of the most. Does he coach the T20 side also?
I think so. I think he's full three format.
Full three formats.
Coach.
Yeah, I hate that. To be fair, I hate that a lot. Like, yeah, I hate it. I hate. Like Ben Stokes retiring was crazy, and I hate everything. I don't think that off the field issues should affect on the field issues. It's cricket. Let them play cricket. But to go out there and ramp, like even when Pont ramps I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why are we falling over and stuff like that? It's Test cricket. Like, cool. Like, I mean, when Sammy Consequential did it, of course, it was great. It was fantastic. That was the best thing ever. But it had a place, right? It has a place. Like everyone was scared of Bumrah. No one could face Bumrah, and he was bowling. Like, the way the Bumrah bowls isn't rocket science. It's not rocket science. It darts in at the off stump. It darts in at the stumps. And so it can be predictable if even though it's incredible bowling. And so Sammy's like, I'm going to ramp him because I know where the ball's going to be. It's going to dart into my stumps. I'm going to ramp it over the slips. Like there's a place for that. But then as that keeps developing, then they find out that, you can't do that forever, and we're going to put a field there, and they got to play some real cricket shots, and Test cricket rolls in. But that's the whole point, is that back to that point of like Sammy Consequential was a blip in the ocean. He had this really good game, and he made his headline. But playing traditional Test cricket over and over again, the way it's supposed to be played, is how you keep playing cricket forever. And now he's gone. He hasn't played a game really since then. Like because that style of cricket can't keep you going.
I think it is possible to defend 160 scores. It's been done before. I mean, the Gujarat Titans did it themselves. You just got to have a good, strong bowling attack, which clearly India did not have. I mean, leaking runs like crazy. So, I mean, first of all, that 76 all out is a whole other issue. That's one issue we can talk about later. That has nothing to do with bowling or batting. It has everything to do with batting. But again, like if you have a decent set of bowlers, like obviously Hardik Pandya is injured, but if they had like Bumrah, Hardik Pandya, again, where is Siraj, and Shami, you have all of those. 160 is very defendable, and these guys they just got to like 150, and they got to like 190, I think, in the first T20. Their scores are defendable if their bowling is on par. They're not bad players. They just don't know how to and I'm saying this and I've never really played cricket, but I just think their bowling attack just also needs to be a little bit stronger. They don't have their best bowlers as of right now. Pumara, Hardik Pandya not being there is really, really hurting them.
Yeah, all I was gonna say is, Adam, you said that you used to play 40 over matches in Australia. I'm about to like go watch like a 40 over match this Saturday, and I don't know what I'm gonna do during all that time. I feel like 40 overs is so long. Like I don't
What do you
have that
mean?
kind of attention spam. I get like distracted
talking
after
about?
like 5 minutes.
You don't know how to stand out in the field for 8 hours? What are you talking about?
Dude, you can't even take your phone out. You can't do anything. You have to
Nah.
pay attention. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, you're
Yeah,
going
imagine then you get out. What if you get golden duck? Then you got to sit and score for the whole game. You just got to sit there and paint a fence. Just
Nah,
dot, stroke, dot, dot, stroke, dot, dot, 4, dot, stroke. Like, it's actually one of my favorite cricket moments. One of my favorite cricket moments was I had to defend for a draw. Had to bat for a draw, and so I batted the full 40 overs for a draw, and I only scored about 60 odd. And it was literally just like it was at Bar Beach in Australia. So like the beach is like literally I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean on one side of me, clubhouse is on the other side, and I don't forget the team that I was playing, but I went out to open the batting and we had a chase like I don't know 300 or something, and there was no hope of us ever getting there. And yeah, I blocked every ball that was going to hit the stumps. I left every ball that wasn't hitting the stumps. And eventually it just became like body line. Now we're just banging it in short. I was ducking and weaving and getting balls flying off the back of my head and just stayed out there for the whole day. Just stayed out there all day. Accumulated about 60 odd runs and played for the draw. And it was one of the best days of cricket ever.
I mean,
Almost as good as the day I
discipline.
actually scored my 100. But I think
but
just having
discipline
like the
of-
slips caught in just like absolutely spray you every ball, like it's people would crumble under the pressure. Like talk about why Australians are so good at cricket. Like you go play 40 over cricket in Australia, you're in the 100-degree heat for 8 hours and you got people just giving you a spray from the slips. Like, oh, come on, mate. Come on. Like, it's all day. Just like, and you just got to not leave it, let it go, leave it, not block it, leave it, not block it. Yeah.
Now
good
we
times.
could certainly learn a thing or two from that discipline. Although I will point out, standing out there for 8 hours with a beautiful ocean view does help.
It wasn't that
if you
bad.
had to stand out for 8 hours on
Yeah,
Woodley cricket ground in the valley.
You got some good grounds. Australia's got some nice cricket grounds. That Bar Beach is my favorite cricket ground, but it's right on the water. It's beautiful, perfect.
I mean, it sounds pretty incredible. And you know what? Our ground in Pomona isn't bad with the hills and everything too, and the Fairplex grandstand. But Woodley, I can barely stand out there for 4 minutes, man. It's just like it's great that it's there, but you got highway on one side, you got just a big giant field on the other side. There's not a ton to see. But anyway, couple quick things I want to talk about before we get going here. Rishabh Trousers, wowzers, he is back in Delhi. Goenka has run a second straight captain out of town. Will he get the hat trick? And I mean, I feel like this makes this Delhi team, there got to be one to reckon with for next year, no?
Wait, the Rishabh Trousers is crazy. I'm like, what?
Yes.
I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? And then I'm like, okay, I get it. I got it.
Like, who is that? Is this some other player that I haven't heard of? Maybe it's something. But then, yeah, it took me some time also.
Credit to my co-host Ariane for that one. He introduced me. He turned me on to Rishabh Trousers.
That's when I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was like, I get it now. On this, I think that MLC and IPL should have a trade deadline like baseball. I think there should be a trade deadline. There should be like a window of, especially for the IPL with the 70 games, there should be a 20-game window or whatever, or a date deadline where you can trade people, because you're coming off the back of the auction, and this year's auction was a mess, like terrible, absolutely horrendous, especially for KKR. And I feel like you should be able to trade. should be able to trade because people like Retro Ravinger sitting on the bench, Timmy Seifert sitting on the bench, Mitch Owen sitting on the bench. Like you got people sitting on the bench that you could technically trade over and utilize if the team needed it. Capitals and LSG. I don't know. I don't know who LSG is going to get to replace him. Do we know who that is?
Kuldeep
Kuldeep
Yadav.
Yadav. Yeah, and
Yeah, Kuldeep
Yadav,
Yadav.
15 crores, which I'm also like, that's a massive underpayment, man. Like that's like nothing for one of the best players in world cricket, I would say still.
But LSG has to completely change their side. Their side is like no. The whole side is a no for me. To be fair, the whole
They're
side.
putting Kuldeep Yadav as captain?
No, they're just trading him
That
as
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what Rishad Pant is going to do. He doesn't have a place in and didn't have a place in LSG. That was too top heavy. He hasn't really batted that well in any T20s recently, to be fair. And I don't know what the hope is. I think part of the problem with cricket is people hang their hopes on people way too much these days. Like hanging their hopes on Pont, hanging their hopes on Cameron Green. Like there's no one's getting a return on investment on these hanging their hopes, people. Like Timmy Seifert and Finn Allen got picked up for like pennies. And Timmy Seifert could have played together as openers. They're the best opening pair in cricket. There's no argument. Consistently, they've been the best for New Zealand, and they could have played together, but they didn't get weren't able to. And yeah, I mean Hardik Pandya didn't seem comfortable at MI. Maybe he goes to CSK. It seems like that's what it's all rumored to be for CSK.
Yeah, I've heard KKR as well.
Unpopular opinion. I actually want him to come back to Gujarat Titans. Not as captain. Obviously, they won't give up. The captaincy won't be removed from Shubman Gill, but I actually do want to see him come back to Gujarat Titans. He left out of his own will, which was a really stupid decision in my mind. But if he comes back to Gujarat Titans, we would solve part, not all, part of our middle order problem, and we would get a really good all-rounder. So
I think I saw this thing though, where he wants to be captain. So KKR is considering because Rahan is getting old, so they might just have Pandya come in and become captain. But that's just what I've heard online, so you never know.
I mean, yeah, I think the problem with Hardik Pandya is he does want to be captain. He's not. This is what I love about Virat Kohli. He was totally on board with playing under Rajat Patidar, even though he was captain before. It's what I love about Virat Kohli. But with Hardik Pandya, obviously he really wants captaincy, and they will not remove Shubman Gill from captaincy. I mean, the way he's captain GT has been pretty amazing. So sucks.
Well, the KKR's problem is that Rahane opens the batting is their problem. That's like their thing. Like they should get rid of him to fix that problem. To be fair.
Well, I mean that would fix it, right? You bring in Hardik, he can be captain. He won't be opening the batting.
Exactly. They
bring in Tim Seifert. The one thing I will say is the trade offer that I saw was for Harshit Rana and Ankush Raghuvanshi, that is a heavy. And I love Hardik. Hardik after Arjun Singh is my second favorite cricketer of all time. But like Ankush is a great young player, one of the best young players in the IPL. Harshit Rana was injured last season, but he's been good for KKR in the past. That is a lot to trade.
Wait, they want Rana and Raghuvanshi?
They did.
No, don't do that deal. That's a terrible deal. That's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible deal. That's a terrible deal. Don't do that deal.
I mean, I would love to see Marco Janssen and Nehal Wadera make their way back to Mumbai and Hardik make his way up to Punjab, but like you guys are saying, no captaincy. And he's not getting the captaincy. Oh man, but it might make us idiot proof finally, Ananya. One time we might be idiot proof.
No, Punjab is set. Punjab is set. We don't need anybody new in Punjab. I like the current Punjab team.
That's crazy. That's crazy. What do we think? Do you reckon we should have a trade deadline? Do you reckon there should be a trade deadline like baseball?
Yeah, 100%.
In-season movement, absolutely. Signings, trades. I mean, we do have, replacement players, but I think even being able to drop guys and sign new guys, I'm absolutely down with it. And I just think that in terms of if you want to create the most publicity, it's a fairly simple calculus. You just make the most news. If more players can get added and drop more often, you'll make more news. Boom.
And then on a similar track, impact players. Yes or no? Oh
This is
wow.
going to be a spirited debate.
Okay. Amal,
I
what do you
know one
got?
person's
Yeah,
opinion here.
probably no.
Oh no.
I
Oh
know.
no.
Yeah.
It's
So
we
I
the
talked
was
about
out.
it during
I
the
was
show.
out on it. I was like hard no for me. But now watching the MLC, I would like impact players, and I would like impact players for specifically. It has to be a domestic player that is replaced, not an international player for the MLC. So if there was a situation where, you're getting rolled, like you could sub in a domestic player, not an international, because we already get 6 international players in the IPL. So in the MLC. So I would sub in a domestic player. But in the IPL, I think it may have its place because again, we're going back to the more runs, more excitement, more drama. Obviously, it's not traditional cricket, but I'm also dying on the hill that T20 cricket isn't cricket. To be fair, it's a whole other thing. It's like it's a, it's a cricket circus. It's a entertainment thing. It's like you know what I mean, like. Because traditional cricket. I was watching West Indies and Sri Lanka. They're scoring. Both teams both are scoring 100. Like they're just batting all day for 100, and it's objectively boring to some people. But it's also like that's traditional cricket. That's like real cricket. To be fair,
For me, with the impact players, my problem has never been with the impact player. I like it as just another strategic wrinkle that you can add in, but that's why the pitches need to be slightly less roady. Just a little bit, just have a little bit in them for the bowlers. Because I think that if there's a slightly more even contest between bat and ball, right?
Yeah.
It will make who you bring in as your impact player, when you bring them in, all of this stuff so much more important. Whereas now I feel like there's so many different like everything's just basically like if you bat first you bring in this guy, if you bowl first you bring in this guy, and that's basically the whole thing. I like the idea of teams having to get out there, assess the conditions, and have, they always show the 5 guys that are eligible to be impact player, but we all know usually going in who that guy is going to be. I wish that we had just a slightly more variable conditions. I think would make that more of a strategic choice more often.
I actually don't like the 250 plus, 260 plus in batting. I actually like, for me, 160 and seeing the teams kind of defend those low scores, because I feel like that's kind of the older version of T20. I mean, I was extremely young when those days were there, but I just when wickets are being taken, it creates a lot more. Okay, wait, hold up. There's like they only have 3 wickets left. Will they be able to pull this off? That's why I really liked watching GT defend those 160 and bowling teams out versus like Sunrisers, which I also love Sunrisers a lot. Versus their like 250 plus that you knew nobody was going to be able to chase because nobody had a batting lineup that was like as deep as theirs. So for me, I think a balance between bat and ball is really good instead of the absolutely flat road, because now they're struggling in England and they're going to struggle in all the CNAC countries for sure because of how balanced those pitches are.
wait till they hit Pomona. USA for the win.
I think there should actually be like related to the note of like domestic and international players. I think there should be a rule of like number of overs bowled by domestic players and like the seeding of like where domestic players should be. So basically, like for bowling, maybe like 30% of overs should be bowled by a domestic player, and in the top 5 of the batting order, like 2 of them should be domestic players. Something like that, basically to kind of force more domestic player engagement, because like the different teams, each of the teams, they have domestic players on the roster, but not really everyone gets the chance, and even the ones that do get the chance, it's the same ones getting the chance over and over again. If you do it too much, like if you make like 50% of the bowlers of the bowling overs be domestic, then like I don't think like international players would like that, and that'll affect like the people who actually play in the league. But I think there should be some kind of like actual rule to enforce this. What do you guys think?
It would be good to see like on all of the leagues, to be fair, like splitting up where people go. Like if you take the USA cricket team, for example, MI has well, they have one of the openers. Like it's I guess it's Gauss and Patel are the openers, and so one is at MI and one is at Freedom. And then that middle order is, Ranjane, Krishnamurthy, um, Smit Patel or some of the Patel guys, Kumar, those guys are kind of like spread out everywhere. And then for the bowling department, like we haven't seen much of Ali Khan this year, and Shadley Van Kalswyk and him are on the same team, and Netra Volker is with SF. Is with Freedom, but it would be better if they're like the pool of players got split up a little better, so that like there was USA bowler, like first class bowler on each of the teams, and then there was like a top order batter on each of the teams, and there was a middle order batter on each of the teams, right? Like because there's like CSK has like all of their middle order is at CSK. It's like they have the middle order basically of the USA cricket team all play for CSK, so like that's kind of an issue. You know what I mean? Because their middle order hasn't really fired. If Faf isn't it, and like Mukamala and Ranjane and Patel, like if they're the meat and potatoes of the side in the middle to bat, and whereas the other teams don't really have that. If you look to like, the Unicorns, it's just really like Krishnamurthy sitting in there, and in and around all the international players doing the bulk of the batting. Similarly for MI, it's just Patel sitting there in amongst all the other internationals around him. So, like, there should be at least 2 USA players in the top 4, I guess, and then like there should be at least 2 domestic bowlers that are bowling. Yeah, and there should be something that's like stipulated that you must bowl X amount of bowlers and you must have this many batters in the top order.
Yeah, and even getting like the drafted players or the people from the minor leagues, getting them involved as well, because like there are several of them who have been drafted or coming from minor leagues, but they haven't played, and who knows if they're going to play, because like now it's kind of do or die situation. And so just getting forcing some kind of engagement or something like that would be good.
If you look at Calvin Savage, I don't know if he was injured or not, but he's only played one game. Unfortunately, he had to walk out there and face a hat-trick ball. He was part of the hat-trick. He was the second wicket in that hat-trick.
Yeah.
I'll say he was second wicket in the double hat-trick. But, some of these plays, they're going to get thrown in at these awkward moments. I think why the Unicorns may have the better rub of this green is that they've had Ali Sheikh in the side basically for every game, and he's been able to he won them a game. He batted very well, particularly in one game. I forget which game particularly that it was, but he's had a big impact for them with the bat, and he bowled a couple overs. Obviously, it's going to be hard for him to bowl consistently, considering that he bowls just like Harmeet Singh. But yeah, I think there should be more utilization of them. And yeah, because if it gets to a situation where you need to use them and they're not prepared for it, then you're in trouble. That's the big thing. Like Rashila Gurkar was like ready for it last year. They had bowled him plenty of overs, and he was ready for the moment, kind of thing.
Right.
Talking about Kaman LaRue,
Yeah.
he didn't get much of a chance last year at the Unicorns because Harris Ralph was bowling, Xavier Bartlett was bowling, so he didn't really get much of a chance to bowl. And now he's bowling very well. He had a very good game. One of the games he took 2 wickets, and back-to-back wickets, I believe they were, or in the same over. First ball, he got a wicket with his very first ball, and he got a wicket somewhere else in the over.
No, and I think that bringing him into the squad, like he was basically the best American player we had, and we're seeing Matthew Tromp start to make some more runs for LAKR now. But the past few years, it's just felt like the American talent hasn't been there. And I think that spreading it out more across more of the teams will make things more competitive, because everybody has good overseas stars, right? All of these teams, there's enough money, there's enough budget to sign good overseas stars. That's not what's going to make the difference. What's going to make the difference is how consistent is your play from your local players. And that's why we have seen a lot of similar teams at the top. Washington Freedom, they've got Netra Volker, they've got Andres House, MI New York, Rushila Garkar's, very good. Sunny Patel, they've had Monank Patel. They've had a lot of American talent that's performed consistently. And I think that because you do have to bring 5 American players into every squad, that's where a lot of the differences are going to be made. And I think being able to spread things out a little bit more in terms of talent, even if you go to the most recent World Cup 11 and you evenly divide, maybe one team gets 3 players, but you evenly divide it as much as you can amongst all of the teams, I think it'll really help.
And we'll see if you're hearing this. Please implement.
Fingers crossed.
Just stitch this and just tag the MLC. And just go to the finals, find the person, and be like, "Hey, listen to this."
Listen to this. No, I
have an update. The toss has been won. Washington Freedom has decided to field.
Nice. Okay.
What Freedom versus the Knight Riders?
Just what we needed. But
batting first in Dallas. What's wrong with batting first in Dallas? What's wrong with that?
I don't trust the LA Knight Riders batting first.
Batting first, as in Dallas, has usually not ended well. Majority of the time, the chasing team has won because the pitch just gets easier in the second for the.
Led to Rashila Gurker.
At least when I was there in Dallas, whoever won the toss always won the match. I don't know what'll happen today. Who knows?
I can't. It doesn't tell me who won the toss. It just says Washington. Oh no, well yeah, Washington chose to field.
Had to won the toss.
So they won the toss. Yeah, you're
LA
right.
won the toss, but we were really nice to the Freedom, and we said, you know what, you can have the choice.
Right.
Right. In the spirit of love and unity, we're gonna give you guys the choice.
Is it gonna give me the playing 11?
Freedom?
No, it's not.
To bet. No. All right. Oh.
Actually, no, it has to give me that one.
It should have given it to you by now because they usually drop it 30 minutes early. 30 minutes before the match starts.
No, it just has the whole team it's like the whole squad.
Yeah, the playing 11, I see it on CrickBus for Washington Freedom. Mitchell Owens, Steve Smith, Andre Gauss, Rachinu Ravindra is playing. Nikhil Chaudhary, I cannot say half of these names. Yeah, it's on CrickBus. It's on CrickBus.
Dutchy.
Good. Well, not good for us, but...
It looks like they haven't dropped the Knight Riders one yet, but it looks
just write screwed across the page and.
Oh, here Milanta, somebody's name who start Obis, however you say that last name. Jack Edwards, Ian Holland, Ben Dwarshus, and Nate Travalker are all playing for Washington Freedom, but they looks like Knight Riders have not been dropped yet.
Okay.
Do we need to? I don't know.
There you go.
What if the 5 of us play for LAKR, huh? Almost half an 11.
I don't know. I'm a pretty good top order. I'm a pretty good third order batter, actually. Pretty good. I am a very bad bowler.
Just saying, DJ Bravo, call us up. I already have a jersey, so you only have to supply 4 jerseys.
Yeah, you probably don't want me walking out wearing Gil on the back.
Hey, if you could bring him into LAKR, we'd be doing pretty well, okay?
I mean, hey, if Shuman Gill comes to LAKR, I will be at every LAKR game. Every single one. Like, I will literally be sitting there.
That's what I'm talking about. LA Shuman, let's go. Hollywood Gill, baby. It's time.
I mean, seriously, he's basically Hollywood talent right there.
It's true. He's got a Hollywood face. Just saying. Hollywood producers. One last quick question here. A little bit of a change of pace. And this one might be a little bit controversial, but we are also a football podcast. So to close things out, I have to ask, Super Bowl, who you got, and why is it the glorious, indomitable Los Angeles Chargers?
Let's go Big Blue.
49ers. 49ers.
Go 44-6 in the trap.
49ers, if they're half their squad, half their team doesn't get injured like they did last year.
No chance. No chance.
I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs, but then they all end up getting injured for some reason. I feel like they're running like some Fight Club instead of an actual like team. They're running Fight Club in there.
Guys managed to make the NFC title game with like I think even Purdy got hurt. Like it was like a 5th string quarterback a couple of years ago, and you still could have beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
So You know, the
Go Birds.
49ers have perfected like being the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and still like they're literally out there half the games being like "'tis but a flesh wound" and winning, which is honestly pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I
and
love
then
that pull. I love that pull, by the way.
to like the NFC Championship or the match or the game right before, and then the defense completely gets injured, and obviously you can't really do much if you have like no defense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with the Seahawks versus the 49ers. They had no defense. And then the Bengals, I would like to see them go, but Joe Burrow always is like literally a chandelier, so that'll never happen.
We'll have to run a second podcast for football, like during football season.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh,
yeah.
And we'll be talking about how the Falcons win.
There we go.
What about you, Arjun? You chime in. You didn't chime in.
Guys, have to be 49ers.
Another 49ers fan.
I will say that the Niners are the most. I've met at least 3 or 4 Niners fans among the American cricket community. Like the Niners are very well represented among American cricket. For whatever reason, the Niners are kind of the most popular team within the community. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Maybe everybody relates to them because half the Indian team keeps getting injured, and same with the Niners. They always get injured. I have a feeling like it's not a cricket team that's being run anymore. It's some ridiculous fight club, which I think CSK is also running for some reason. They're not running a team strategy. It's like who can beat up who. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with that theory. Man, if I knew we were talking football, I would have worn my Niners hat and my Good Job Titans jersey.
Well, like next time we'll have to do now the Cricketers NFL preview before the season starts. I would love to do that. That's listen, as much as I can marry both of the two central focuses of our podcast. I mean, that's ultimately my mission of what I'm. It's the extraordinary simple premise of, hey, NFL fans. You know how like you're super bored for like 3 months out of the year because everybody has to scrape the bottom of the barrel for stories? Well, guess what? There's like multiple kinds of NFL quality entertainment available to you live whenever you want in the form of cricket. And like I have the best sporting calendar possible because NFL season ends, IPL comes basically immediately after that. I have the whole cricket summer to go through, and then cricket summer's over. Boom, we're in training camp.
You have Wimbledon also happening, Australian Open. You've got the U.S. Open. You've got what's the other Grand Slam? French Open. You've got all of those. Come on, you're never short of come on. You also have the ATP Masters always happening. You can always watch Sinner play. He's so good at playing.
But like, I mean, honestly, it would be, even if NFL fans could get into tennis, that would be helpful. But most NFL fans, at least, in my circles, are talking about whether or not it's morally wrong for Justin Herbert to go to Europe to hang out with his girlfriend, which is not a real story.
No.
I didn't even know that was happening. Okay, I didn't even know Justin Herbert was going to Europe, but that's terrible.
But this is the American sports brain without cricket or without tennis or without anything else to really focus on.
I'm going to take their side a little bit here because I actually have done that when it comes to like Abhishek Sharma. Like, why is he going here? I don't want him to go here. So I have done that because I'm a very big fan of Abhishek Sharma. So maybe it's a little different why I'm doing it, but I don't know why they're doing it.
I also feel like Justin Herbert has a way more defined offseason than Abhishek does. Like, Abhishek could kind of be playing cricket any day of the year, whereas, like, I'd rather him not potentially be tearing any leg ligaments or anything like that could completely ruin our season, in OTAs with whatever the hell happens in that time. I mean, that's mostly just for the rookies anyway, so.
I remember once Pat Cummins, he went skiing with his family and people were asking him, "Are you skiing?" And then he's like, "No, I can't ski because I have cricket happening." So kudos to Pat Cummins for not skiing.
That's a hazard.
Yeah, no way Cricket Australia. If Cricket Australia won't let Cooper Connolly bowl in the IPL, there's no way they're letting Pat Cummins go skiing.
Yeah, I mean, he was sitting watching his family, which is good. Good family time, but no skiing.
Okay, Nick, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
The game starts in 10 minutes.
Yeah, got a big matchup coming up. So, alrighty, that is it for the most consequential gathering of Americans since the 1787 Constitutional Convention. We of course came up with 17 extra amendments, which is excellent. We've completely changed America. Make sure you join us next week as Shohei Ohtani will be here to teach Vaibhav Suryavanshi how to properly slog on a bumpy pitch. So, for Ananya, for Arjun, an American Cricket Show, for Amal at Sixes and States, and for Adam at That's Cricket, and for Ricky Ponting and everybody else associated with the NFL's 4077th team, my name is Nick Cates, and I'm saying, well...
I've got so much to say and so little time to say it. Great job, everybody. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!